A classic show of pomp, beauty and graceful aging at the 5th annual Vintage Auto Show in Kampala, as hundreds of vehicles were today exhibited for enthusiasts to look at, touch and admire. Some of the car models are as old as 70 years but appear to be in good running condition, having had their bodywork, paintwork and insides maintained or restored. Ben Farmer's French Citroën has been in his possession for 30 years. He says his car has deep historical value and is a treasured possession.
We found this car about 30 years ago as a wreck in Cameroon, where we were working at the time. So we bought the wreck and we found a second wreck which we bought, and then we reduced that to spare parts for the first one. It's called the Queen of the Road in France. It's a beautiful car. It has a lot of history in France. It's the biggest of the models called traction avant. It's the 15.6 six-cylinder engine. The proportions are beautiful.
This 1936 Dodge is a third-generation car in the family of Ham Mukasa, a former county chief of Chagwe in the Buganda Kingdom. It belonged to a man, once a page in Kabaka Mwanga's court in the 1800s, who escaped martyrdom. Now his grandchildren are restoring it to its original condition.
But we have the original engine which we're shipping to Detroit to be worked on and then returned and fixed back, so that we have what you call the originality of the vehicle. Yeah.
Other vehicles on display were a sleek range of Mercedes-Benzes from the 1960s and 70s, the muscle cars like the Nissan Datsun and Citroën, and chic Mini Coopers and the vintage Fords and Volkswagens from the 1970s. Their owners told of a rich history.
The engine capacity is 1000 cc and it runs great. I've managed to do a few changes. Like you see on the grill, I had to modify it because the original grill could not be found.
I wish I lived in those times. I think those people had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Huh? I mean, look at me. They don't wear these trousers anymore. Bell bottoms and stuff. You know, I think those days were funky. And the cars, they consume really well. Good suspension, easy to look after. I love them. I love those days.
The show also included an exhibition of vintage and modern motorcycles. A special part of the show was what the future holds, and this came in form of sports utility vehicles ranging from the new edition 2016 Mercedes-Benzes, the Jeeps and the latest Kia.
Next mode is sport. This is a machine built for speed, but with safety in mind. So when you're driving in the sport mode, it takes long to engage the gears and you really have a sport feel. Then this is the normal mode.
For every car to be considered a vintage, it must have a story from where it started from and how many years it has seen the road. Now this very car that we are in is a 2016 version, and in 80 years or 100 years to come, or even 25, it will be one of the cars that people will be coming to see at the Auto Vintage Show. Apparently now in 2016, this car is being looked at as the futuristic car. Suhail Mugabi, NTV.